have a criminal history. I've never been arrested. I don't have anything more than a citation or a traffic ticket. That's the most I have. Citations and or traffic tickets. That's the very most. Never been in handcuffs. My reputation is something that I'm very, very proud of.
Not have a criminal history. I've never been arrested. I don't have anything more than a citation or a traffic ticket. That's the most I have citations and or traffic tickets. That's the very most never been in handcuffs. My reputation is something that I'm very proud of. Here's that Maurice Scott recently suffered a blow that he most likely didn't anticipate. So let's get into this love and marriage. Huntsville mess, let's take a moment to reflect on how Maurice got involved in this courtroom drama in the first place, before delving into the most recent court news. Okay, Maurice was hot when he posted on Instagram a while back, you know. Let me get this out of my system. I'm talking about full in addition to few minor jabs here and there. He went live essentially defending his reputation against a number of rumors that had begun to circulate on the blogs. We are discussing grave charges that would make you look at Maurice in a very negative light, if you were to believe them. He wasn't merely talking to himself. In that video, he explicitly criticized the bloggers and stated that he preferred public retractions over private apologies. He threatened to take legal action unless they publicly apologize within 10 days. 10 days he won. Even his entire chest was used when he said, "I'm giving y'all a deadline." You can tell someone is serious when they start putting deadlines like that. Maurice's voice was serious, and serious. He wasn't joking around. He was extremely serious, as if he had already discussed his options with his attorney and knew exactly what he was prepared to do next. And that's crucial to comprehend, because many people might have dismissed it as if he was simply upset at the time. No, Maurice was laying the groundwork for the lawsuit that would eventually become the subject of our discussion today. In case you were wondering if Maurice was exaggerating, he did have receipts. He gave the blogs names, he gave the tellus names, and he stated unequivocally that they were lies that damaged his reputation and his family. This was no fictitious quarrel. He sincerely felt wronged and wanted his name cleared, which makes sense, given how difficult it is to remove content from the internet. It has been posted, it adheres. No fast forward to the present, and the network, not Maurice, is popping bottles. Was officially dismissed from Maurice's lawsuit, according to the most recent court updates, and it's not as if they might return later. Additionally, they have escaped lawsuits of this nature before. Whenever cast members attempt to pursue them, they always prevail. Their attorneys are practically trained to toss these issues away like flies. To clarify, being fired wasn't due to a backward technicality. After considering Maurice's arguments, the judge essentially said no. When you really think about it, the court's decision that Maurice was unable to demonstrate that On had done anything wrong makes sense. Contracts for reality TV are serious business. You typically sign a contract when you sign up for a show like Love and Marriage. Huntsville acknowledging that the network may alter, remove, or rearrange content for entertainment purposes. You own a defamation case based on reality TV drama, unless someone actually crossed the law. To make it even more clear, they were exempt from paying Maurice's legal fees. OWN also attempted to go above and beyond by submitting motions to the court, requesting that they impose penalties on Maurice and pay their legal fees, but the judge wasn't impressed either, in essentially saying, "All right, you're free to go, but don't get greedy." The court rejected that motion. The same is true for Maurice. At tone point, he attempted to obtain a default judgment against by claiming that they had not responded appropriately and that he should be declared the win. However, the judges swiftly put an end to that. No default, no free wins. What does that leave us with? Then OWN is completely out of the door. Maurice, on the other hand, is still battling the struggles of his case. It's also starting to look more like Maurice shadow boxing than a heavyweight bout now that the top contenders have been officially dismissed. And to be honest, it's obvious that he genuinely believed he had a chance. When you look everything, he acted as though he genuinely thought the court would support him. It's not looking good for him. Though given those unbreakable reality TV contracts, the judge's dismissal, and his dismal track record in cases like this, what will Maurice do next? You see, he's not giving up just yet. Despite losing against him, no, Maurice is still involved in this conflict, but he is now engaged in a different conflict with the bloggers who initiated the whole issue. He essentially outlined his defenses in a motion he filed, refuting the accusations made against him. No, don't misunderstand. Maurice is not playing around. This is a serious matter. This is not a move where we wait to see what happens. He's not backing down and is preparing for a full-scale legal battle. A few of his defenses in any case, Maurice is firmly embracing the notion of good faith. He's stating I didn't act with malice here. I wasn't trying to hurt anybody. That's essentially his way of saying I didn't do anything wrong on purpose. You have a better chance of defending yourself against defamation claims if you're acting in good faith in the eyes of the law. However, it does intend that Maurice is arguing against damages as well. Things get a little technical at this point, but stay with me in essence. He is stating that he was not harmed in any way by the blogger's post. There was no actual monetary loss, no psychological suffering, and nothing that would have required him to accept payment of any kind. To put it another way, he is arguing that even if the blogs were incorrect, they had no significant enough effect on his life to warrant a lawsuit, no actual harm to his reputation or career. You know, then there is defense of no fraud. Maurice used this as a sort of way to say I didn't lie and I didn't intend. It all comes down to proving that even if the bloggers were mistaken in their charges, it wasn't some nefarious plot to ruin his life in essence. He is pleading with the court to acknowledge that he wasn't out there manipulating people behind the scenes in an attempt to ruin someone's day. Maurice's entire vibe at the moment is that he's attempting to shield himself from a protracted legal battle, even though he's out there fighting back against these bloggers. He wants this to be finished as soon as possible. He is no attempting to avoid becoming embroiled in a legal quagmire for an indeterminate amount of time, rather than merely clearing his name. Here's the problem, though Maurice is not yet out of the woods, just because he is no longer involved yet, still has to contend with this additional trial against the bloggers, and believe me, it won't be easy. Maurice faces a fierce, all-out legal battle in which he will need to substantiate each of the defenses he has listed. That is not an easy task. The journey ahead will be lengthy. Let's now take a moment to be realistic. Is it possible that Maurice regrets initiating all of this?